If you're very familiar with Abia's social media space, one particular word that has been trending from yesterday till today is ghost. And one will be asking, is ghost, the word ghost, is it a political lexicon? And then it is not a political lexicon, no, but it's a word that is trending. Why is it trending? Ghost workers were detected in the Abia payroll. Who are these ghosts? How do you identify a ghost worker? All right, I'm not a ghost, I know very well. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was also part of the conversation we had on Nigeria Today. Good morning, Enyimba show right here on Enyimba FM. We're going to expand that conversation to see what happened, how it went down yesterday, and why we have so much ghost workers. In fact, this morning, I will be sharing with you a recorded conversation with the Chief Press Secretary to the Abia State Government, Kaze Uko, who spoke on this particular issue. Very controversial. Memos flying here and there. In fact, it's even affected the sports sector. You heard David this morning with one of the officials of Enyimba Football Club. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. It's another edition of the program, Issues and Views, right here on Enyimba 94.3 FM. We're streaming live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Enyimba 943 FM. We're also streaming live on our YouTube page. We've got a YouTube platform. In case you do not know, it's Enyimba TV on YouTube. Enyimba TV on YouTube. All right, so join the conversation already. We already threaded the topics there, so you can also join the conversation by dropping your comments as the program progresses. All right, okay, great. I'm sure you're doing that right now because I'm going to run through all your comments today. Our WhatsApp is still down. We're working on it. Hopefully it will come up before the end of the show today. All right, so let's talk about those stories that I have threaded for you this morning on the program. Today being the second official workday of the week, the 18th of July 2023. Abia State Government identifies 2,300 ghost workers on the payroll, which is our big story for today. We will expand the conversation, look at some of those memos that were flying yesterday around, but that of the sports has been dealt with this morning on the sports segment of the Good Morning Enyimba show. But the issue of sacking of doctors will be on the fore this morning. Were doctors really sacked? In fact, Abia State government had to come out yesterday to say that to deny the sacking of those doctors. I'm going to share a copy of the memo that is trending on our Facebook page. While we're streaming, I'm going to display that. You know, we stream like a TV, so I will display that for you this morning during the course of the program. And NMA's purported reply, because we cannot confirm the source of these memos that are flying at the moment, which led to the government also denying sacking of those doctors. Away from that, that is the big story coming from Abia this morning. But we are going to start from national issues. President Tinubu is back in the country after the AU meeting. Arthur Eze has donated 100 million naira to Ohaneze Ndigbo. And Nigeria military intercepted Anambra-bound smuggled ammunition. Let me break that down for you. A particular truckload of ammunitions with different arsenal, was intercepted on its way to Anambra State in the southeastern part of the country. Even as there seems there is a crisis in the ruling All Progressives Congress in Nigeria. APC finally came out yesterday after denials that, well, Abdullahi Adamu has stepped down as the party's national chairman. The deputy national chairman North takes over from him. We're also going to be looking at that. And then lawyers file contempt charges against the DSS DG. That's because of Emefiele. And also, the federal government has confirmed first case of anthrax in Nigeria. Whatever that means, you will find out this morning. Even as APC's final address, according to PDP, is intended to intimidate judiciary and harass Nigerians. I'm sure you have an idea of that copy, that particular paragraph of the APC's final address at the ongoing presidential election tribunal, which is generating a lot of reactions because of the 25% vote cast right there at the FCT. So interesting conversations we've lined up this morning. Join the conversation, like I said, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Enyimba 943FM. Also be part of the conversation by dropping your comments under any of those threads that we have on the Facebook page. You can also be part of the conversation by also listening live on our website, www.enyimbafm.com, www.enyimbafm.com. Also be part of the conversation by joining the thousands of followers that we have listening to our app. We've got an app, meaning you can listen to Enyimba FM anywhere in the world. If you're out of reach, you can also download that. It's a low data consuming app. It doesn't consume your data. It's not heavy, unlike some other apps on the Google Play Store. So if you're using an Android device, you can also check that out. All right. That being said, are you ready to be informed? Are you ready? It's basket full of hot potatoes this morning, especially as far as the staff verification exercise that is ongoing in Abia State is concerned. What is the opposition party? What are they saying? The social media, the Abia social media space was agog with different reactions yesterday when these news were flying here and there. Did the commissioner goofed? That's a big question. Some person said, hey, you should own up to what happened. Anyways, you will understand what I'm saying. I'm not speaking in parables. You will definitely understand and take your decisions this morning. Welcome on board. It's Enyimba 94.3 FM. Abba.
How is business, Nam? Fuel subsidies are affecting us, but we are pushing, be careful with Chief. By the way, have you heard that the government, they are planning to borrow another 600 billion naira from China?
Where did you hear this one from?
Leave where I headed from. The most important thing, one happy headed in the motor, banner motor.
See, you are part of the problems we are having in the society with this your fake and unverified news. In Noriana Radio, in Noriana TV,
my brother, I heard it from one of the neighbor Binaya Dempa Emeka. Also in Noriana internet.
If I very wire. But on shine, be mindful of where you get your own news from. Because fake news. Not everything on the internet is true. Makachi, get radio stations under the credible. Fake news.
Chai, thank you very much for correcting me. From today onwards, Nganege Radio Kamata and Cable real and authentic stories.
They are them very, very important.
Man is very, very important. Ngagwaha, chai, they rely with fake news.
The internet is a powerful tool for sharing news and information around the world at any time. But unfortunately, it is not everything we come across online that is reliable. Despite the great benefit of internet, one of its biggest challenges in this day and age is the quick spread of fake news and misinformation over the social media. We must be conscious of the fact that we're in the internet age, and as long as the internet exists, the number of internet users will continue to increase. Say no to fake and unverifiable news. Listen to the news from credible sources only to help in combating the menace of fake news. This message is brought to you by Enyimba 94.3 FM. Abba, more than a radio. And now, issues and views.
All right, let's fire down now. I'm ready for you. I have all the stories. I have all my facts ready to dish out what is going on in the country for you this morning. All right, let's begin the conversation on the national scene because we've got so much to talk about, especially on this ongoing verification exercise, talking about verification of workers in Abia State to identify those ones that are ghosts and the ones that are not ghosts. I think I may have to define the word ghost this morning because that is the most used word in Abia from yesterday. But we understand that President Bola Tinubu is back in the country from Kenya after participating in the 5th Media Coordination meeting of the African Union. The president, left Nairobi yesterday and got to Nigeria in the evening, where he met with other leaders on the continent last weekend. After the AU meeting, the president said Africa could not attain integration and prosperity where Africans languished in pain and anguish. He's the head of the ECOWAS right now. Of course, his return from Kenya comes 2 days after his departure from Abuja on Saturday. Why did I share that with you? Nigerians are waiting for that list. When will the ministerial list drop? No, some persons are hoping that it will drop today. Will it drop today? I don't know, but we're hoping it will drop so that it will help us in our analysis. Let us know if he's going to sustain the reward system that we've seen in our democracy in this Fourth Republic right from 1999, or he's going to spread it. It may be handshake across party divides. Now, what I mean by handshake across party divides, maybe members of the opposition PDP, particularly Nyesom Wike, will be on that list, and some other members of the G5 who worked against their own political party PDP during the presidential election. So we're watching with keen interest to know where we're headed, and of course who gets what is actually is always the case. The case of who gets what, because some ministries are juicier than some other ministries. You know what I mean now. You cannot compare Ministry of Works and with which other Ministry of Women Affairs. The money where they did big past each other now. You know what I'm talking about. So there will be lobby after lobbying. Anyways, that's just on a side note. But let's talk about what is going on. The Nigerian military intercepting. We've talked about security situation in the southeast. So much around security in the southeast, and shockingly yesterday, the Nigerian army came out and said the army intercepted a truckload of ammunition en route Anambra State. Yes, you heard me right. It was headed to Anambra State. The ammunition, according to the army, was intercepted by troops of the 192 Battalion during a rigorous stop and search. According to Brigadier General Enyimba, he revealed that a total of 18,000 cartridges and an additional 250 packets of live black cartridges containing 10 packets each were intercepted. And where was it intercepted? It was in faraway Ogun State in the southwest Nigeria. According to him, the troops acted on actionable intelligence, conducted a meticulous and rigorous stop and search operation along the Ajileto Wode Road in Yewa local government area of Ogun State, and uncovered the illegal ammunition in a truck with registration number ENU 697XY loaded with 720 packets of Red Star cartridges of 12 caliber containing 25 cartridges per packet, just to mention a few of those. And so the guys confessed. Those found in the truck confessed that one of them is a Ghanaian, the other guy is a Nigerian. The suspect, the Ghanaian name is Eric Sevolvo, and the driver is Mr. Lukman Sani. They've been taken into the custody anyways, and they are helping with ongoing investigations, just to let you know. But preliminary investigation, the report is out, and information gathered during preliminary investigation revealed that they concealed, those ammunitions were concealed in a supposed empty truck. It was imported from Mali through the Idiroko international border, where criminals had successfully beaten several other checkpoints en route to the final destination, which is Onitsha in Anambra State, where they intended to deliver the illegal ammunition. Well, we must thank the Nigeria Army. At least that is going to help in containing the insecurity that is facing us right here in the southeast. Quite unfortunate, I must say. Very, very unfortunate. But thank God, it's a work in progress. Let's know who they are delivering it to. That's the question. Who sent them? From where did they get it from? Who imported it? And what is their aim? What are those ammunitions going to be used for? I believe they are not going to be delivered to hunters in the farm. I don't know. I don't want to preempt investigations anyways. But that just to bring you up to speed on that, all right? There you have it. So let's move on now. Quickly, let's move on. I really want us to delve into this Abia story because that is the major issue right now. And that is generating a lot of reactions from Abians in diaspora, in the States, everywhere we are, right? So the federal government has confirmed the first case of anthrax in Nigeria. You might be wondering what is going on. What is the meaning of anthrax? The federal government, according to the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, said it is deeply concerned to announce the confirmation of an anthrax case in Niger State. According to the Office of the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, who notified of animals manifesting symptoms of a suspected case of anthrax in a farm in Suleja. A rapid response team comprising of the federal and state One Health professional team visited the farm. So subsequently, laboratory tests were carried out. The ministry had, in a few weeks ago, remember, communicated the risk of incursion of anthrax into the country. Is a zoonotic disease. It is caused by a bacteria which primarily affects animals, in cattle, in sheep, in goats, but can also infect humans who come in direct contact with infected animals, which is why we should take this particular message serious. If you come in contact with animals or consume contaminated animal products, remember when federal government said you should be careful with eating pomo, that's kanda, also because of this anthrax. The disease can also be transmitted through contaminated pasture, feed, and water. So the clinical signs of anthrax in animals include sudden death and blood oozing from the natural body openings of the animal, from the nose, from the ear, from the mouth, and the anal region. So the federal government, through the ministry, is in collaboration with Niger State to take proactive measures to timely control and contain that disease, and of course to quarantine the affected farm, just to bring you up to speed on that, and also so that you will be better informed. Maybe one of these days I'm going to bring an expert to talk about this so that we will be better informed and also have an idea of what it means. All right, there you have it. Let's talk about the money that was given to Ohaneze Ndigbo. I'm moving fast. Abia is my interest this morning. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but we place premium on Abia stories here in Enyimba FM, and we placed the premium on Aba stories because we are the elephant in the city. So the chief executive officer of Atlas Oranto Petroleum Limited, Prince Arthur Eze, donated 100 million naira to the Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, or Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide. 100 million. In fact, Dr. Alex Obunna, the National Publicity Secretary of the organization, came out and made it known and agreed, or rather confirmed it, and said Eze announced the donation when he spoke to an assemblage of Undigbo at Imo State Lodge. That was on 10th of July, lamenting that Ohaneze Ndigbo, led by Chief Emmanuel Nwanyawu, should be funding its activities from its pockets. That was when Chief Nwanyawu said he met death on ground. I also shared that story with you. So there he promised 100 million naira for Ohaneze Ndigbo, and that has been fulfilled. Hopefully it will be well used. When I said receiving the money, he was very delighted with Arthur Eze, whom he described as a trailblazer, a wealthy son of the land who has always actuated by a deep sense of empathy, affection, and overflowing kindness. Such a big English, of course, when money is involved. It's a lot of money, though. It's a lot of money. So let's move on now. Quickly, talk about the tribunal. Remember yesterday, in the news, if you followed our bulletins very well, religiously, there was a comment by the council. There were comments, rather, that generated reactions by the council for the president and the vice president, Kashim Shettima, led by Wole Olanipekun, which were contained in the final address against the petition of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and his party. The petitioners are challenging Tinubu's emergence, Labour Party and Peter Obi, challenging his emergence in the February 25 election and his fulfillment of the constitutional requirement of 25% of the votes in 2/3 of the country's 36 states and the FCT. Now, judiciary will help to interpret this particular part of the constitution, so I don't want us to delve into that. It is sub judice to start discussing this issue, but that is generating reactions. I just want to share with you what PDP is saying, because in that statement by Tinubu's lawyers, they said asking the tribunal, they were asking the tribunal to dismiss the petition of Obi and Labour Party. Tinubu and Shettima's lawyer argued that Tinubu scored 25% of the lawful vote cast in FCT, and any other interpretation will lead to chaos and anarchy in the country. That then sit down well with supporters of Labour Party, supporters of Peter Obi, and say, hey, you can say that. Why will you say because we want lawful interpretation of what the Constitution says, especially the Electoral Act? You're now coming out to say it will lead to chaos and anarchy. PDP has jumped into that too. PDP described it as a threat to the nation. So, the publicity secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologwangba, released a statement yesterday and said the remarks are preemptive move to intimidate the judiciary. According to Ologwangba, the statement by the lawyers in the said written addresses is subversive and an affront to democratic order and an assault on the corporate existence of the nation, that it shouldn't have come out like that. It is wrong. That it's a threat to either through the council or officials of the APC, calculated to intimidate and harass the judiciary and indeed Nigerians. That, why will you say it will lead to chaos and anarchy? That's PDP also jumping on that issue. All right. That's about that. We'll take another break now. When we return, we'll continue the conversation this morning. Let me run through some of those stories that we still have for you in the cooler that we are yet to unleash. It's basket full of potatoes, right? Okay, in the basket this time, we're talking about the continuous detention of Emefiele this morning because his lawyers filed the contempt charges against the DSS DG. Also, the EFCC former boss is still in the custody. Then we're also going to look at the APC crisis before we come to Abia. And of course, I will share everything that happened yesterday within 24 hours to you, talking about the verification exercise in the state. Stay tuned. It's Enyimba 94.3 FM. Abba.
Yeah, man.
Yo, man, hold on, man. Y'all got to turn them radios up. Y'all got to turn them up. Turn them radios up.
Enyimba FM 94.3. Enyimba FM. Enyimba FM 94.3. Abba.
Odogwa. Kewe Nam.
Oyishai, Udomakwa.
How is business?
Nam. Fuel subsidies are affecting us, but we are pushing on. Da, Ifeanyi, be careful with ngwaahịa m ịma kọwachara m ngwaahịa m.
Werekwana ya nwayọ, Chief. By the way, have you heard that the government, they are planning to borrow another 600 billion naira from China?
Where did you hear this one from? Kebi Nukwaranka.
Leave where I headed from. The most important thing, one happy headed in the motor, banner motor.
Oyishai, see, you are part of the problems we are having in the society with this your fake and unverified news. Enoriana radio. Enoriana TV.
My brother, I heard it from one of the neighbor Binaya Dempa Emeka. Osinogriana internet.
If I very wire. But Oyishai, be mindful of where you get your own news from. Because fake news. Not everything on the internet is true. Makachi, get radio stations and they're credible. Fake news.
Chai, thank you very much for correcting me. From today onwards, Nganegi Radio Kamata and Cable real and authentic stories.
Very, very important.
Man is very, very important. Ngagwaha, chai, they with fake news.
The internet is a powerful tool for sharing news and information around the world at any time, but unfortunately, it is not everything we come across online that is reliable. Despite the great benefit of internet, one of its biggest challenges in this day and age is the quick spread of fake news and misinformation over the social media. We must be conscious of the fact that we're in the internet age, and as long as the internet exists, the number of internet users will continue to increase. Say no to fake and unverifiable news. Listen to the news from credible sources only to help in combating the menace of fake news. This message is brought to you by Enyimba 94.3 FM. Abba, more than a radio. And now, issues and views.
Well, thank you so much for staying tuned. Still the Tuesday edition of the program Issues and Views. Today being 18th day in the month of July 2023. We're streaming live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Enyimba 943 FM. You can also join the conversation by dropping your comments under the live stream. Or better see you dropping other topics that we've listed for you there on the Facebook page. Also be part of the conversation by calling the studio phone lines when we get to that point of the show. All right, we are Enyimba 94.3 FM. Now moving on, we've got more stories for you this morning. Talking about the Deputy National Chairman North taking over as the acting chairman of the All Progressives Congress. There was confusion, controversy yesterday, and at the end of the day, it came out to the public. It came out open, although the reason is still unknown, but some are saying that the former chairman could not account for the billions of naira that was made during the last election from the sales of farms. The Deputy National Chairman North of the APC, Abubakar Kyari, has taken over the leadership of the party on an acting basis following the resignation of the National Chairman, Abdullahi Adamu. Mr. Kyari announced that resignation after a meeting with the National Working Committee of the party, and the acting chairman, a former senator himself, briefed journalists after the NWC meeting, and he said he's taking over based on the provision of the constitution of the APC. He also announced the national secretary, Iyola Mishore's resignation. Iyola Mishore was present at the NWC yesterday, but they didn't allow him to enter. He stormed out of the headquarters of the APC angrily yesterday. Journalists tried talking to him. He refused, and he's been replaced by the Deputy National Secretary, Festus Fanta from Plateau State. That's the issue. Let's listen to the voice of the new APC man, the new acting national chairman of the APC, Abubakar Kyari. Take a listen.
Which is to inform you the resignation of the national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, CON, and that of the national secretary, Senator Yola Omishore, CON. And with this development, and according to the Constitution of the All Progressive Congress, APC, it is now incumbent on my humble self, Senator Upe Kyari, as the Deputy National Chairman, North, to assume the office of the Acting National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC.
There you have it. Abdullahi Adamu is out. Abubakar Kyari is in. So there you have it. That's it about that. Quickly, still moving on right now. Before we delve into Abia's story that we have for you, we understand that Emefiele's lawyer has filed a contempt charge against the DSS. Some constitutional and human rights lawyers filed that contempt charge and commenced committal proceedings against the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi. The move against Bichi, according to the lawyers, is a result of the violation of multiple judgments and orders of the court directing the release of Godwin Emefiele from custody. According to Maxwell Opara and Ahmed Tijani, the lawyers are praying that the court commits Bichi to prison until he purges himself of the contempt. That's the word lawyers usually use. In their motion filed before the court for the issuing of the Form 48 and Form 49, which are the forms to commence proceedings to commit Bichi to prison. The lawyer said by the judgments and orders of Justice Emi Hassan, Justice Hamza Muazu, and Justice Bello Kawu, the DSS DG ought to have released Emefiele from detention. So that's it about that. Now let's talk about Abia. We're done with those stories. Let's talk about our own. I decided to leave this till the tail end because I have so much to say about this particular story. Now, first, what happened was that info that was released by the state government that 2,300 ghost names are on the payroll. They cannot be verified. 2,300, and the verification is still ongoing. It has not stopped. 2,000. Just a moment. I don't want to quote out of context. I want to find the exact words used by the state government to tell us that there are 2,300. Okay, there you have it. So, the state government released that statement yesterday that 2,000, there was a meeting between the accountant general of the state and the governor. So, after that meeting, the accountant general spoke to journalists, and the state accountant general is Mrs. Njom Onyemenam, and she said that the state has saved over 200 million naira on monthly wage bills following the ongoing verification of civil servants and public workers in the state. The state accountant general said huge savings were made using a unified payment system, and she spoke after that meeting and said the verification exercise is still ongoing and the government hopes to make more savings. Let me quote her. So far, we have been able to save 220 million naira. That's the exact amount. Not less than 2,300 ghost names. 2,300 ghost names have been weeded out of the payrolls using the unified payment system. And she said the state government hopes to still identify more. She confirmed that following the Governor Otis' directive, the government had last week paid the arrears of April salaries left behind by the immediate past administration and also the June pensions to retirees. She also said local government staff who had been skipped when the June salaries were paid due to their failure to submit their verified payment schedule will receive their salaries this week. So that's the latest, talking about the local government staff. That is not even the story that is making rounds now, even though the word ghost was so popular yesterday, was so used on Abia social media space, and what we're asking, is it a word that we're coming across for the first time? People started asking, are you a ghost? In my dictionary here, a ghost is an apparition that's of a dead body, a dead person, which is believed to appear or become manifest to a living, typically by as an image. So if there are ghost workers, who employed these guys and how were those names imputed into the government payroll? And how can we stop this issue of ghost workers in Abia State? Maybe I will leave that to you. But the big story here is the story of the memo that were trending yesterday. So I'm displaying one of the memos now. First, from the Ministry of Health, even though these memos have been denied that they are fake, I just want to share with you to know where the story started from before the government came out to deny. So according to that memo, which was circulated on the social media space yesterday, if you're watching on Facebook, you will see right now it's been displayed. I am directed to inform all medical doctors in the State Ministry of Health employ to reapply, expressing their interest on working with the ministry, indicating their willingness to work under the Ministry of Health, Umahia, and Hospitals Management Board. This is in line with the government's vision of delivery of healthcare services to all Abians. It is expected to be done on or before Friday, 21st of July 2023. This is mandatory to avoid sanction. Immediately that memo dropped yesterday, it's been tagged a fake memo by the government anyways. It elicited a lot of reactions. It was signed by the director in charge for the Honorable Commissioner, Dr. Hemuka Rock Biale. It dropped, it elicited a lot of reactions. Reapply? Are you sacking all the doctors in the state? What is really going on? So much was said about it, and people started asking questions. What is really going on in the state? So that also elicited another reaction from the NMA, that's the Nigeria Medical Association in the state, before the government now came out to deny it. Now let me read the memo from the NMA. It's been displayed also on the social media page right now if you're watching live on our Facebook page. Many thanks to the IT guys doing a human job, brother. So I'm going to read out the comments. Okay, I am directed by the chairman of NMA to seek for the understanding of our aggrieved members over the circular issued on 17th of July, which was yesterday, asking doctors to reapply in bold letters in the State Ministry of Health. We have made contact with the director in charge, and there is a promise to withdraw the circular tomorrow and issue a less ambiguous and clearer one. No one has been sacked. We employ our members to calm down and wait for further instructions if need be for NMA to act. Plans are also on the way to visit the governor to have a robust discussion on issues affecting Abia doctors. That's on the other side. NMA is yet to come out to say this particular memo is fake, but the government has come out to say the first memo is fake. That being said, the government now came out yesterday and said, hey, we have not sacked anyone. In fact, it is the handiwork of mischief makers. Also, the commissioner, it was the commissioner that first released the statement, the Abia State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ngozi Okoronko, who dismissed as untrue and unfounded fake news that Abia State government sacked all medical doctors. She said the purported sack is only a figment of the author's imagination, as the government has no intention of sacking or disengaging any doctor or health personnel currently working to support ongoing efforts at reviving the health sector in Abia State. Dr. Okoronko advised doctors and members of the general public to ignore the rumor. The commissioner, she also maintained that no one has been asked to submit fresh expression of interest as the fake circular directed. And she said her intervention saw health workers call off their 6-month strike, return to work, just to mention a few of those things that she said she's been doing. Then there was now another one coming from the government, according to Ferdinand Adekiomade, special advisor to the media and publicity rather to the governor, where he said the public should kindly disregard the fake news being peddled by the opposition in the state that doctors in the state Ministry of Health have been sacked and asked to reapply. And one of the measures is to sanitize the Abia health sector and to ensure the authentication of identities and up-to-date competence of those still working in the ministry, especially after investigations showed that some persons had since left the ministry still have their names featured in the system. The ministry met with all personnel collectively, agreed to carry out a revalidation exercise, a decision that was generally applauded and accepted. The exercise has been going on smoothly. Anyways, to avoid... he also says the same people circulating the fake news of the alleged sack of doctors carried it over to Enyimba Football Club Aba through the issuance of a fake release asking people to reapply for their previous jobs in Enyimba. But we had a conversation with the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Kaze Uko. I'm going to play that conversation right now and then straight up throw the lines open. What do you make of all these? If this is fake, it was an embarrassment to the government. And if it is not, and some other persons are saying, hey, the government released that the memo really came from the government yesterday, that they didn't accept that they goofed. That is coming from another angle in all this. Let's take a listen to what the CPS told us yesterday over the phone.
Because there had been earlier efforts, made at rooting out some people who are not supposed to be there in the first place, and that had yielded a huge, dividend, to the states. So this is just a follow-up to the ongoing verification, So the verification continues, and the government of His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti OFR is just being compassionate. Despite the ongoing verification, he had continued to direct that workers are paid, so that, like we used to say, you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater, or an ambition, because there had been earlier efforts, made at rooting out some people who are not supposed to be there in the first place, and that had yielded a huge, dividend, to the states. So this is just a follow-up to the ongoing verification. So the verification to go on and all of that. So this is a recent development coming from the local government side. So that's where we are. That's where we are. It's because of all the things that they have laid out there. So, but as a responsible and prudent government, we had to take time to be able to look into the payroll, and based on information that the civil servants, some members of the civil servants and public workers themselves had volunteered, to the new administration, we had to review some of these things, looked into the payroll, and through the verification exercise, we discovered that there are people who are there and who are not supposed to be there. What has happened in the past is that people just, they just give employment to their wards, of family members and all the other people, and they are nowhere to be found within the space, within the environment of the civil service, So at the end of the day, monies are transferred to people's accounts, but when you call them for verification, you don't get to see them. So of course we got some of those information from public workers themselves. It wasn't like we had to start looking very hard. So information was freely given, and based on the information received, we were able to get to work and did what we did. As per whether we will be able to prosecute and all of that. Before people begin, how many do you want to prosecute? 2,300 or close to, when you sum up everything that has been accomplished so far, it will be getting in the region of 7,000. How many are you going to start prosecuting 7,000 people? Absolute rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. It's fake news. The governor has not ordered any of such. The governor has not directed any of such. Neither has the Commissioner for Health. There is no truth. There is no truth in it at all. It's absolute falsehood, and I'm sure it came from the camp of those who do not mean well for the administration and for Abia people. There's no truth in it.
There you have it. Just a snippet of the conversation with the chief press secretary yesterday on this particular issue. There you have it, saying it's fake news. The commissioner met with the doctors. The commissioner met with the doctors before this particular press release about reapplying or not reapplying, even though it's been said that it's a fake news and it is not true. It didn't emanate from the government. I believe it is left for Dr. Rock, the director in charge of that ministry, to come out and let us know if he indeed signed that memo. Let us hear from him too, even though the government has denied it. And also the NMA, because according to the NMA's memo, they reached out to Dr. Rock, and Dr. Rock also made clarification that no one was sacked. But details from the meeting the doctors had with the commissioner that I have is that the commissioner told them that she wants to differentiate the two professional pathways for doctor. Maybe you can be a career medical officer under the Ministry of Health, or grow to become director of health, or choose to work in the hospital management board, where you can be sponsored to go for residency, to grow to become consultant in both clinic and academics. Is this meeting related to does it have a connection with that memo that was released that they should reapply? Was the information passed wrongly? That's on the side of the government. Now the issue is, how do we curb fake news? How do we understand where some of because as it stands now, we don't even have the official communication channel, information channel from the government. I can categorically tell you that it's been difficult, especially when you want to confirm some stories and one or two. The lines are open. Let's have your thoughts this morning. I have done so much. I have done a lot on this particular story. Let's have your thoughts. Now you have all the sides to all these, the number of ghost workers and the back and forth concerning sack or no sack yesterday. The lines are open. Let's have your thoughts. Comments are pouring in on the Facebook already. We can see your comments. Let's see. Chiemela Isaac, Ufomba, Chinomso Humphrey, Meribe, Chinemerem. Keep those comments pouring. The phone lines 0809 666 0943 or 0708 000 0918. Those are the lines for you to participate on the show this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome. Good morning.
This is Enyimba.
All right, go ahead, please.
I want to start from the topic that the 300 and something ghost workers.
2,300. 2,300.
300 ghost workers in Niger State.
Yes.
And that is why Niger State is still in the level where it is. How can 2,300 ghost workers be in the salary scheme of Niger State, and other people will be eating the money that will be used for infrastructure or any other thing that will benefit the state? And some people will be eating the money while others are suffering, and those that are working will not end their salary. But those ones that are good, their salary is sacrosanct. They must get their salary. But those that are working will not get their salary. That is why we are in this level. I thank the governor for what he is doing. Let him continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Agunwa Ahamba. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael O'Neill.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Every time I listen to your analysis, I derive great joy the way you break down matters so that the common person can understand it very well.
Thank you.
I thank you a lot.
Thank you.
But in question of ghost workers,
yes,
in Niger State, I remember that during the last administration, different kinds of regulations were done to find out ghost workers.
You're correct.
But unfortunately, I see that the government, the past administration, has something to do with ghost workers. I see that they use it as a way of settling stakeholders. Stakeholders they are all aware, they are settled through this means of ghost workers. Because you can't tell me that after publication, the ghost workers will still be found in the list of employees in other states. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. So the government, past administration knows about it. It's a way of settling stakeholders in PDP. And that should stop. Labour parties should be mindful of that and never allow that to continue as they have been doing. I thank you a lot, Mr. Oni.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. He's saying that the past administration and some stakeholders know about it, and he's shocked that despite several verification exercises that was carried out by previous administrations, we still have as much as 2,300 workers that are fake, if I can put it that way, ghosts. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
My name is Moses. I'm from Umule.
Okay, Oga Moses, can you speak up, please?
This goes and about this is an very unbelievable thing. How can ghosts working in office and they're paying ghosts? How?
Okay, let me explain to you, Mr. Moses. Not like you have a ghost. It's not like you have a ghost working in the office. No. It is a term that is used in the civil service for fictitious names that are in the payroll. They are known as ghost workers because they are unknown, but the money is going somewhere. Salaries are being paid. They are being paid salaries. It's not like you have a real ghost having a chair and a table somewhere, sitting down and working in an office. God forbid now. Haba. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Michael.
Evangelist Undukesi.
Yeah. Good morning.
Thank you.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. Quickly, I want to react on what the council to APC in the presidential tribunal, the statement he made.
Yes.
Concerning if 25% is used in judge, and there was there will be a nullification concerning Tinubu's election. that it will cause chaos and anarchy. I want to say that it's a threat to democracy. It's a threat to judiciary. It's a threat to the rule of law. So the law has to take its course. It doesn't matter who is the offender or who has offended the law. The law must surely take its course. It doesn't respect anybody. So for him to come out and start telling us, the whole sound coming out to tell us that if you judge rightly, it will lead to anarchy and chaos, threatening the entire nation, it's not welcome and it is not acceptable. So the truth must prevail. Then I want to thank the Lesotho government setting a pace. Previously, we read in the Bible that they say, could anything good come out of Nazareth? We can now boldly say in Abia State that something good can come out of Abia State. See, 2,300 ghost workers. Look at the kind of crime the civil service, the people that are at the helm of civil service are perpetrating. Listing out. Look at 220 million saved mostly. That will go a long way in using it to do other things. Thank you, and God bless you, my brother. You are doing well.
Thank you. That's another angle many are not even looking at. You know, we're so fast to blame politicians for all the negativity you see in the news. Who were those that employed these ghosts? If I can put it that way. That word is funny. I'm sorry. Please, I can't control myself. Who were those that employed them, rather? Politicians cannot act alone because they do not have a permanent seat there. But those at the helm of affairs, at the civil service, stayed there for 35 years. And these names were there. I think investigation is ongoing, and I won't be shocked if this number will be multiplied by 2 at the end of the verification exercise. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. One Cardinal, how you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. I'm sure you are good too.
I'm fine. I'm sure you are not a ghost caller. Go on, please.
I'm super excited that at least for once we've gotten a governor who has the balls to do what we've always, wanted. Because it's obvious, Abia State, when you are counting states that are, civil service states, I'm sure none of us will want to mention Abia, but it's quite shocking that when you now see the number of workers on their payroll, you keep wondering what is happening. So I'm telling the governor that he has the support of the majority of Abians on this, because he is so sad that people will be doing this, leading the state, and the same vein shouting that nothing is going on in the state. You can agree with me that these 2,300 workers cut across the whole levels. As in, you can even find people on higher level as in level 15, and then you imagine how much they are taking home every month from the state that is already down. So I encourage him to go out of his way and complete this task so that Abia will start breathing. Abia needs to breathe for once in their life. Then the council to the APC is becoming obvious that they are now seeing the light. What they said is just to tell Nigerians that these guys are afraid. They are beginning to understand that definitely the people's mandate will be handed over to who the people voted for. That's my take this wonderful morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your take. Previous administrations in the state have also always said that the wage bill is high. Maybe this is the reason the wage bill is high. Wage bill, talking about salary payment, it takes, when you receive allocation, it takes a large chunk to pay the salaries of workers, and at the end of the day, you have little for other things like infrastructure development and the likes. Maybe this is the reason. Maybe. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ogachi Dalu Oil.
Mike, as you can see now, you know that Aja is moving forward. They are not going back again. And I know that God will help us to reach where we are going. That is what I want to say. I love you so much.
All right, thank you. Very brief. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
All
right.
Prison because I might get Hamadi Baderi salary under ghost workers. How will we go to government Lahamago on her? Some day I go Shema Hishila prison. Because on that one over Adagama. Other states Adagama one day Hoana and the ghost workers.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Do appreciate it. Hello, good morning to you. 0809-666-0943. Franklin Vane says, good morning. APC crisis is just a family affair of the hunter being hunted and should not should not distract Nigerians on the tribunal case. Tinubu Council made... why is this message jumpy? Tinubu Council made a treasonable statement by threatening the judiciary and the peace of the nation, and any judgment that didn't sack Tinubu is fraudulent one. All eyes on judiciary. I commend the government of OT in sanitizing the civil service and saving more money for the government and Abians. Let's get more reactions from the phone lines. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, from
all right. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the issue at hand, which is the ghost workers.
Okay.
I want to say, these ghost workers, these people earn promotion despite their levels and other things. They've been promoted all these years. Because I believe there is no how someone will be in a civil servant, as if somebody will be a civil servant at the end of maybe 8, 9, 10 years that he will not be promoted and celebrate. So they are not good. So they are not good. If they really want to investigate more and get both of them, they will still get them. They will tell us how they find themselves into the Civil Service Commission. Another one.
Just a moment. Do you know that the Accountant General said some names cannot even be attached to an individual? Those names are just there, and the money is entering some account. That was one of those things that she said yesterday.
That's why I will advise even the governor and others to make sure they investigate more, because you see when the loans come, you use it and pay only salary. What happens about the infrastructure? Like we are trying because people roads in Abia State, there is no infrastructure, no good basic amenities and other things, because we are paying civil servants. Is the only civil servants the problem we have in this state? So they should investigate more. Because I think in civil service, when you do not retire before your retirement age, once they get to your gratuity, everything is gone. They should go back. Those people should return even the money that they have been earning since. They should get them arrested. I'm telling you, I'm not happy with the way things are going all these years in this state. Because I find myself in this state and I believe this is my home now. Because this is where I make my end living. Anything that will make this state to be better, I myself will support it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a great day. Akua James Kalu on the Facebook page says, Mike, do you know that as at 2015, when I was in SS2, I had a classmate who was receiving salary from Abia State government up until we graduated. I hope your classmate is not a ghost or one of those that we're talking about. Was he working while still in secondary school? Does he go to work? And how often does he do that? And how, at what level? Is it as a junior staff or a senior staff? I don't know. James Kalu, please, can you expatiate more on this? Probably drop a message for us on Facebook. I'm interested in this story. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I am Mrs. Ngozi, sir.
All right, you're welcome. There is a hold back from your listening device, please. Thank you.
I am from Amapumo in Ogunabo, local government area.
All right, go ahead, please.
I am so much happy this morning because of these ghost workers that has been detected. You see, the other time I called, I told people expectations that this man knows what he is doing. Now he has started a good job. That's the first step to solving problems in Niger State. At least those money will be used in necessary things that need to be done in Niger State. And again, it will also pave way for those of us that have not been employed. That our certificate has been inside the box for a very long time, since 2010. I love that. Kudos to him. Please, I still beg. Let him do that fast and then employ us, those of us that are unemployed, so that we can assist our husbands. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you. That's another angle. She's already talking about the benefit of cleaning the payroll and cleaning the names. It will open up and we know the real names that should be paid, and maybe there will also be room for employment. Anyways, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. This is the voice of Cool Boy reporting from Shupla.
All right, Cool Boy. How you doing?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine, sir. First of all, I want to thank God. It has happened now that we know that it's of a truth. There are ghost workers. But I still want to advise him more, that she pick more, because this is not the end of it. If they go to rural areas and some rural communities, let me start from public school, you will also find that there are some teachers who are earning money there, but they are not attendants to their work. So this is the time that the governor should not sit down one place. This is the time that the governor should not be hearing from what the reporter has said. This is the time that the governor should go out to verify it by himself. Go to the rural area, go to some local governments, go to some portals where we have workers that we employ, where we are distributing our monies in the name of salary. Because at the end of the month, what we will be hearing is that Akube Mogo. That is the national anthem. Let us know the people that are working, and let us know the people that are not working. Honestly, this 2,300 is not the end, though. If in the couple of days, we still get a lot of other names. And away from that, Mr. President, I want to say Mr. President is over traveling. Honestly, he's not up to 2 months as human face. He has traveled more than 5 times. This is not. How can he sit down to look and monitor the problems of the country? He's He's over traveling. He has his aide. He has his secretary. He has the presidency. He can appoint one of them. Let one of them go and represent him. So why he stay back in the country and look at the face of the country if he's going to stay there? Because you cannot see somebody's mandate and rejoice on it. So if he's going to stay there, let him sit down and stay in the country and look at the face of the country, so that you look down on the ground. Even at the federal level now, we still have ghost workers there. And we have not made any statement. It's not only in the state. It's not only in Abia State that we have ghost workers. Even in the federal, there are ghost workers. Even in the National House of Assembly, there are rubber representatives who will stay in the National House of Assembly from morning till night. You will not hear their voice. From January to December, you will not hear their voice. You will not hear they support this emotion. But at the end, they are being allocated. They are being given more newspaper, which they never read. Cool, so the Mr. President should stay back in the country and look at our affairs of the country. That's my take.
Thank you. Cool Boy, they're very funny. He said his president should sit back and stop traveling. He should send aids. Very funny comment there. Thank you so much, Cool Boy. Do appreciate you for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Good. That's Chidi. Bye.
Okay. Oga Chidi, how are you doing this morning?
Very fine. Very fine. What about you?
I'm also fine. Go ahead, please.
Over 200 million naira saved.
Yes, 220 million.
230 200 years.
Yes.
Ghost workers.
Just within 1 month, according to the government.
Yes, that is interesting. Now, these are the questions. Who are the ghost workers?
Exactly.
Who employed them? Who entered their names into the payroll? Who is the head of department or agency from where these thieves are operating? If these questions are judiciously and religiously followed, and the answers provided are scrutinized and then carefully examined, the issue of ghost workers will be led to rest. The heads of the department of these ministries and agencies cannot be completely exonerated from that mess. If any of them is found wanting or associated with that mess, he or she should be sacked with immediate effect, not minding the sons they may contact. Local governments have huge number of these ghosts. That may be why some of them are trying to stampede the government into rush payment to evade detection. If a new government had not come into being, it would have been business as usual and settlement as a source of their procedure. Investigation should continue and be intensified. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Chidi. Chidi is supporting the verification exercise, saying it should continue. That if a new government had not been in place, this is how Abia would have been losing money. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
This is from Dignity of Labor.
All right, Dignity. How you doing? Good morning.
My brother, the problem is that people have lost their conscience. They don't have conscience and become inborn to them. I want to advise Ochi, the governor of Abia State, to look into his own tenor now. But one day, my wife went out from market, and she was telling me that one of the sisters said she should bring her name so that he send it to the office of this government, and he will paying her every day.
Without going to work?
No. It's a businesswoman.
Okay.
Businesswoman, nothing concern her with government.
Okay.
So I told my wife, cancel it in your mind. I doesn't use another 30 minutes to train my children. I was in Malaysia, and such a thing that brought me back from Malaysia is under 2 weeks. Conscience matters. People don't have conscience. If these people, these ghost workers, they have, even they are having a ghost worker started from theology, all those for Carlos. Every day they went to the house and they are peeling a briefing. They are ghost workers. In my side of Imo State, one man was telling me they are just ghost workers working with theology. And they are not being owned for one day. The people that are suffering are being owned. And this they are learning it from our leaders, both federal and others. And those workers are our governors. Those people that put them, they are putting it for their in place of their brothers and their sisters. So it is easy to be found so that the thing will not continue. And mention their name, let them go and pay. It's unfair that somebody will be eating where he did not sow. It's unfair. Please, thank you very much. I'm Dignity of Labor coming from Abba.
Thank you. Dignity of Labor there saying, calling for prosecution, if I can refine what you said now, that they should pay for these names that have been detected. And if you can attach it to an individual, those guys should pay. Maybe they should be prosecuted. But you heard the CPS there earlier today on the program when he said the governor and the government is not interested in prosecution, but to sanitize the system. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Yes, sir.
I'm on transit now. I'm going to my.
Okay, Johnny Mercies. Okay, I can hear you. Go on, please.
Michael, you see, this is what happens when you have a government that really emanated from the collective will of the people. You discover that such government will really stamp the authority, or such government will really have two strong balls to really take decisive decisions. So we are not surprised by the what is happening in the state civil service. Because the truth of the matter is this, that these ghost workers are not really employed by common men. They are employed by some politicians and some other disgruntled elements who believe that it's a national cake and that they have to really take their cake anywhere it is. How can somebody be staying in his house and at the end of the month, salaries are being paid into his account, and that person will be happy? It's a crime against humanity. It's a crime against God. Not only would they be fished out, I want them to be prosecuted to serve as a deterrent for other people. That's my take. Let me give other people.
Thank you. Thank you for your take. Do appreciate you. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Good morning, Michael Umi.
Good morning.
Thank you.
All right.
My name is Hope in God.
Hope in God. How you doing this morning?
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm fine.
All right. Go on with your thoughts.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank our level governor, Dr. Alex Shama Oti, that is he's a good man from above. The man that God has sent to Abia State, Abia State. I love what he's doing. So we don't need ghost worker in Abia State again. So this thing is making those people out there that taking them people that are working, they are not even paying them. They are holding them salary because of these ghost workers. So I want to appreciate our Honorable Governor, Dr. Alex Shama Oti, as doing what he did now, that for him to remove all the ghost workers in Abia State. So we want to tell him that that is going to do well in Abia State. We don't need ghost worker in Abia State again. I want to say, may God bless him for us in Jesus' name. That's the only person that will change Abia State for us in this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Do appreciate it. Let me run through the messages on the Facebook page because my time is moving very fast. Joel Obina says, I'm very happy to hear that Abia government discovered the ghost workers in the state. I urge them to keep it up. Blissful Much More is also talking about the ghost workers, saying government identifies ghost workers on payroll. I say big kudos to the government. Chukwudu Magu, discovery of 2,300 ghost workers in Abia civil service is a welcome development. In fact, this has been a well-known open secret dating back to 1999, and one of the reasons why many people in the state decided to vote Dr. Oti, who they believe has the spine to shake the apple cart. Governor Oti needs to go a step further and find out those who have been receiving the over 220 million naira Abia State money as ghost workers since 1999. Juliet Ogbonna, thank God for the government discovery of ghost working in Abia. It is a welcome development, and you should pay the ones are not ghosting. Now my dad and mom are still like that without payment. Please, sir. Antonio Okochuku says, good morning, my people. Good morning. Unwosu God's will. I work with the primary school in the state, and we have not been paid April, May, and June salaries. The governor should hasten up. People are suffering. Emery Bechine Merem says, please give us update on who is winning on the tribunal cases. I can't give you update on who is winning now because the case is still in court. It is until the judgment is given that I can now say this person is winning or this person. We cannot preempt the court. But thank you so much, Emery Be. But as soon as events unfold, I will definitely give you that on this platform. We're also monitoring for you, and we've got our reporter Enyimba here who also will file in any report from the tribunal. Ufom Bachinom, so Abia State is now a spiritual state, and God has given us spiritual eyes to fish out those ghost workers. Thank you. Chiemela Isaac, Abia State having ghosts 2,300 in the midst of the living. This is unfair. In the midst of the living, you have ghosts. Okay. How many people work? How much are we making? Thank God we have made 220 million. Let us see how much you will make in 3 months. Please, sir, use it well. My name is Cool Boy. Okay, Cool Boy, we've done your comment. Thank you. Ifeanyi Woma, if 2,300 ghost workers was identified as a result of verification exercise, who knows how many human beings exist in that sector? I urge the government to go all out to identify and prosecute the ghost individuals and their employers. Prince Will Unadozie, I love the way you. Okay, I love the way major issues in Abia and Aba in particular, you guys do it. The government should continue with the good work they are doing. Thank you, Prince Will. Victor Uchechuku, good morning, Enyimba FM. Government should tell Abians the truth. We are hearing different statements from different angles. Joe Prince, concerning the animation that was allegation, they say they are going to Anambra. Let them stop making Southeast. Okay, they are going to Anambra. I believe that is what you're typing here. Let them stop making Southeast look like bad in this country. Why can't they call other states? Please let them stop that. Sorry, let them stop that. Eze Ebuna for the one they call me Fino or Fino. Nora Pearl, good morning. PDP should leave Alex Oti alone. Amara Alex says, Mike, nothing surprises me in this country again. Imagine saving 220 million in 1 month. Just think about the wasted money in the past 24 years of PDP. God has finally delivered Abia. Frank Elisha says, good morning. Abia government discovering 2,300 ghost workers is a welcome development. Okay. James Carly, we've done your message. You said a classmate receiving in SS2, that's in 2015, receiving salary up till he graduated. Mazi Manuel says, this is your friend Mazi. 2,300 ghost workers discovered in Abia State is a welcome development. Those that employ them should be punished. For me, I'm not a ghost worker. I'm professional in bag making, and 220 million naira should be used to pay our fathers and mothers who have retired. Ungozi Diana Rose, I was looking for this particular comment of yours and it disappeared. Okay, sometimes fake news can be right. Medical doctors in Abia should reapply their interest in helping the present government in our health sector. We don't need part-time doctors. Most of them have hospitals, thereby negligent in their monthly pay job. Who does that? I beg they should publish all the names of the ghost workers for our perusal. It may be my close neighbor. Imagine 2,000 he looking for ghosts. Imagine 2,300 ghost workers shouting, they never pay us. In fact, they should include those workers who sign in the morning and come back by 4 p.m. to sign out. They are ghosts. Okay. Kudos for Cosmas EJZ says kudos for the discovery of the Willy Chief Zebrudaya. Okay, this has been the pattern of all systems of previous government of the state. Money they work, monkey they work, babu they chop. Hence, there is no meaningful amenities in the state. Away from that, I concur with Mr. Peter Obi that to Tinubu that having not failed, if Tinubu loses case, it seems Tinubu has guilty conscience and afraid of the outcome of the tribunal. And I can advise him to get prepared to pack his luggages. Akunwa James Kalu, he was not going to. Okay, that's a follow-up to that. He was not going for any work. We were in boarding school. Wow, boarding school. When we asked him how come, he said, "Now my mama they run the thing." Did you hear that? No, did you hear that? Now my mama they run the thing. All right, let's move on. Thank you so much, Akuwa James Kalu. Okay, Lady P, Michael, you're doing a good job the way you make it more clear to us. The ghost workers of a thing does not start today. It's a welcome development. Why people are still unemployed is everywhere. The intimidation of our president to the Nigerians. He should also understand that the same Nigerians put him there. Lady P there. MSCN, please, I want to use this medium to advise Dr. Oti to call his media handlers to order. Running the media government makes them indifferent from the previous administration as at today. No parastatals in the state have seen April salary in their establishment account, let alone disbursing it to workers, while it has been in the news for over a week that April salary has been paid. Chidima Eric, I do appreciate what you do and how you do it. Discovery of 2,300 ghost workers is not a new story in Abia, because after the tenure of this present administration, you will still hear about ghost workers in the next government. Munachi Motimba, good morning. Abia people are still receiving salary, but the family of the deceased are not aware. For Mr. President, threatening judiciary and Nigerians has let everyone know that he's a Nigerian citizen, bros. He's a Ghanaian. He's not a Nigerian citizen and a Ghanaian dual citizen. He's a Nigerian. But that is subject to court anyways. Gideon, my problem is after discovering the ghost workers, before the end of this administration, you will hear about ghost workers again in Abia civil service. Onyx Victor, saving such money every month is a good news. Shame to PDP. Ifeanyi Emmanuel, good morning, keep up the good job. Ajimokuola Grace, okay. Good morning to you, Grace. Jennifer Peter says, Author is donating such amount of money to Ohaneze Ndigbo is a welcome development. May God bless him. As for Ohaneze Ndigbo, they should try and use the money wisely. Secondly, Abia government identifying ghost workers is a very big development. All right, we need to step out of the studio. All right, thank you so much for your messages. Let me just run through the names of those that sent in messages we can take. Steve Nike, Philip Enyimba, Frank, Elisha, Kingsley, Uchechukwu, Chiemela, Amara Onyike, Emmy Bright, DMS Emeka Bero, Michael Frank, Kalinek, Franklin Vane, Unwokporo Victor, and Comrade Elijah Odenwa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. The program returns tomorrow, and we will definitely bring you up to speed as the event unfolds concerning this ongoing verification exercise in Abia State. Do enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Michael Oni.
Enyimba 94.3 Abba. Yeah, man.
Yo, man, hold on, man. Y'all got to turn them radios up. Y'all got to turn them up.